All right, welcome everybody to another CNC Q A Podcast. I was trying to see if my buddy Ryan there was going to play some air guitar. I was going to add him to the screen real quick while he wasn't looking, but he didn't play it none tonight. So, but anyway, welcome. Let me go ahead and bring these guys in. We got the usual suspects here with Mr. Ryan and Mr. Paul. I hope y'all are doing well.
We're surviving.
Paul, you got anything? I know you got bad news. You got any good news to tell us, or just?
I have no good news. Just I'm a bearer of bad news, and my bad news is my bamboo printer quit working, and it put me in deep depression.
Yeah, I bet it would, but maybe it's just something simple, and they can get you fixed up, or who knows? Maybe they'll send you a new one. They making plenty of money now, I guess, because they got that new one. I think Ryan posted about it. And what did you say it was? 18?
Yeah, the
1800.
H2D. Yeah, the cheapest version, which isn't even out yet, is $18.99, and you can go all the way up to like $34.99.
Yeah, that's
what.
That's a little too rich for my blood, I think.
I was going to say that won't fit in our budget. That's for sure.
Paul, have you tried doing a factory reset on it yet, though?
I don't know how to do it. How do you do that, I wonder?
It's really simple, actually. If you hit, you turn on the screen, and I think you go to settings and scroll all the way down, and there should be a factory reset option there.
Oh,
and just try to get it to start all over again. Maybe that'll do something.
Yeah.
Let's see, settings.
Yeah, I can look at mine and see where it's at, because I just did it on the one for my son. Because for whatever reason, which I think is kind of dumb, this is a thing that I want them to change, is that like on the Bamboo Handy app, which is their app that you can do it off the phone or whatever, you can only bind a printer to one person or one account. And I don't want my son, I got a 12-year-old kid. He doesn't read anything of pop-ups. He just clicks to get out of it. He doesn't care what it says.
Yeah.
And I don't
it's restoring as we speak.
Oh, cool. Maybe it'll have you like pull up the app and redo it all, but it's worth a shot.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. And then it'll give you more to tell them if you put in a ticket. So craziness. But yeah, he'll just hit buttons, and I don't want him screwing up all the settings. So here, screw up your own settings.
Yeah, there you go. Screw up your own stuff.
Yeah,
sure.
So
all right, maybe we'll get to see a live update on Paul's debacle there and see if that works. So that'll be good. What's up with you, Mr. Ballard?
I finished a CNC project today.
Hot diggity.
Yeah. Made a table for my son, and that's actually
yeah.
It turned out pretty good. So I have some tabletops that I got from IKEA. They were $10, and so I've had them for probably a year and a half. So I bought 6 of them. And so I used one for the bottom and one for the top. So he's got a nice big shelf on there, and it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah. Good deal.
Yeah. I guess if you don't turn it there, there you go. You can see the printers up on top of it.
Yeah.
It turned out pretty good.
Now he's got himself a print farm or a printer patch or whatever you want to call it.
He'll never touch that Anycubic one again. It's such a piece of garbage. Yeah.
So. All righty. Well, while we're at it, about your Saturday night gig?
Oh yeah, making it up as we go. Saturday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern time on the R Ballard Designs YouTube channel. We're talking about the latest of CNC lasers and 3D printing, some news and latest videos that have come out. So, you want to come and hang out with us, more than happy. Usually you can make fun of me for some reason or another.
No, we wouldn't do that.
Plenty of things to make fun of me for.
Well, I've got to ask the burning question.
Yeah.
Do you now have an HDMI cable?
I do.
Stored away someplace where you'll never forget to take it with you on a road trip.
Well, yeah, I'm here. This I picked up from Five Below, and it's going to live in my backpack that's back here, right behind me on my shoulder. Okay. That's my backpack that I take all my electronics in wherever I go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's gonna live in there.
A laptop power supply would be good too.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. Or a monitor. I came home, monitor that I was planning on bringing with me was sitting right here. So never even made it out of the basement.
Yeah.
Neither did the power supply.
Yeah, it was still a good show though. So if anybody missed it, go ahead and go back and check it out from last Saturday. I watched it. I probably watched it 2 or 3 times now because I started watching it. Jack, my old dog, he goes to bed earlier than I do. And he wanted me to go to bed, so I thought, okay, well, I'll just turn it on back there and watch it. I don't know, about halfway through or so, I fell asleep. So I got up the next morning, got coffee, and watched the rest of it. And I think I've watched it one other time since then, just for giggles. But
well, I appreciate the view.
Always a good show, and I try to get you a little watch time. Try to get you all I can, buddy.
Yeah, definitely appreciate it.
That's the name of the game.
Yeah, it was a fun one. I mean, it was. I was in North Carolina, and of course, I tried to bring everything that I can, and I ended up having 2 mini computers, a Raspberry Pi, my laptop, an iPad, and my iPhone, and still could not get it. Was like it was still a hassle. I ended up running the camera on the show I did off my phone.
But it proves how versatile the iPhone is.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it did a good job.
Yeah, I couldn't see the chat or anything like that, so people were freely making fun of me. It was pretty good without me being able to see it. I could only tell there were some good comments. Even after the show, I went back and was able to look at all the chat and stuff like that, and some of the comments that didn't even get brought up, they're pretty funny.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, those of you with a sharp eye, or maybe not so sharp, can probably tell I've done a little rearranging out here in the garage for the umpteenth time, I think. And, I got thinking about something as I was moving stuff around out here. I moved into this house in 2007. And had a divorce, bought this house, moved in. Other than my tools and stuff, didn't have anything, no furniture. I was pretty much starting over at 50 something, however old I was. And I'd go to rooms to go, and I'd go, okay, you know how they have the little sample room set up, and I'd go, okay, just give me that room. And I'd come over here to the bedroom stuff, and I'd go, all right, just give me that room. And bought up a bunch of stuff, and then, of course, it was delivered. But as far as the house goes, everything is set in exactly where it was delivered almost 18 years ago now. Yeah. But I've moved stuff around the garage, I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
But, those of you who have watched my different live streams and stuff from out here in the garage shop, I'll call it. You know, my Avid used to sit here. My laser's right there. This setup used to be right over there beside the laser, but I've kind of moved everything around. Still got to get rid of some stuff to get some room in here. Got a bunch of scrap wood piled up over there, but I'm slowly getting there. But anyway, you know, been talking about last week. We talked about the proximity sensors, and if you look close, I meant to set another camera up, and I don't have one set up yet. But I got on my Y or my Z right here, and then on my X right there, I have two of those proximity sensors. And at the time of the show last week, I had both of those working fine as far as doing the homing. They were both homing, both working great. Well, in the meantime, after last week's show, I started to add in the other two to put them on the back of the Y because I wanted to be able to home the Y back and also have it square itself up. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you, I spent about 2 days pulling my hair out. I could not, no matter which way I wired them silly things, I could not get them to work. So after a lot of trial and error, and then I thought, well, you know what, I might be just beating my head into the wall for no reason, because they might not be any good, because they are cheap Chinese proximity sensors off of Amazon. So I finally just threw in the towel, and I went and redesigned some new brackets. Of course, I'm going to put the old mechanical switches on there. So, of course, that all the designing and 3D printing to get the brackets just right for the proximity switchers, all that was for nothing. So I had to redo the brackets for these things. But I do have a couple of these on there, and they're working fine. Although I've only got one connected. I'm not doing the squaring up thing. I had trouble getting that, and it wasn't a problem with the switches. It was a problem with the script. I was trying to use the script that was with the Avid, and there must be some more stuff in there that I'm not finding out just for sure. So I just went back to a simple script and just using one, although I went ahead and left the other one over there. It's technically it's not wired up. So
I was actually thinking about that here over the past week too, because as a lot of people know, I'm working on designing a new machine myself. And the one thing that I was kind of trying to figure out was and I'm assuming it's going to be the same on the Sidewinder there. Your two Y motors are tied together, right? Like they're thrown together.
Yes, they're slave together.
Yeah. So my thought was, if you have a sensor on one, that's about as all you can do, because if you daisy chain them together, you're still going to have one motor continuously running until it hits both of them at that switch, right?
Yes.
That's the only way that you can really square it. It's not like it's going to come 4 millimeters from that switch, from the proximity sensor, and stop, and the other one would still freely move to get itself in line. But I was thinking that maybe the Avid actually has a separate access driver for that, an independent driver.
Yeah, well, this one does too. I mean, as far as there's 4 drivers in there,
right? But both Ys are slaved together or mimicked, right?
Yeah. So like I said, I don't know. I haven't had time to keep messing with it, and I finally I thought, you know what, Dave, are you ever going to run anything with this thing? Not if you just
get it moving.
Just keep peeling around. So I finally said, all right, let me just go with what I've got, and I'll because this is going to be a work in progress anyway. When I find that I want to do something different, I will.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things we're going to be talking about tonight. So at any rate, I've got the thing where at least right now it's homing. I was telling Paul before we went live that after I put the two mechanical switches on there, and I thought, okay, this is great. I've got everything's homing just the way I want. I bet I've homed this thing 1,000 times over the past week. I'd home it to the back right corner, and then I'd bring it out. I'd hit go to zero, and I had a zero spot marked over here somewhere. So we'd come back over here, and then I'd hit home, and I just went back and forth to make sure it was homing every time. So once it did that, I thought, okay, I feel like it's safe for me to take all this jury rig stuff that I had up here, and I got some cable. I cut the wire off of the proximity sensor to about 6 or 8 inches, and then got my soldering thing and soldered it up. And then, so now I had a big long thing that I could run through my drag chain that I have on both sides. So I went to all that trouble to run them through the drag chain. And wouldn't you know it, that's when one of them wanted to start messing up. Because then I started going through the homing stuff again. All of a sudden, the one on the X wasn't working.
Oh.
And I'm like, what in the heck? I've already got the thing all run through that drag chain and all that stuff, which, by the way, it's kind of a pain in the butt to do it. You got to pop all those little things off and put them all back on. But anyway, so if you look close, and I'm going to show it, just what I did is when the one on the X quit working, I finally just gave up on it and cut the wires, and I got a different one because I still had 2 more. So I put a second one on, and I haven't even bothered running this one through the drag chain. I've just got the cable coiled up, wire nuts right here, so really unprofessional looking. But I thought, I know what'll happen. It'll work from now on. It'll work fine. But if I take it loose and go to run it through that drag chain again, it probably mess up. So I'm just going to leave it like it is. I'm going to go ahead and run the machine a little bit.
Yeah.
And you can see I've got kind of a project that's in progress right here that I'm going to try to do here in the next few days. But anyway, I was looking online as I often do, scrolling around on Facebook. And I can't even get on Facebook for more than 2 minutes scrolling around, and I'm going to see ads from Fox Alien, Saint Smart,
Yamitsu,
Nora Home. There's a fairly new one. They got a new Kickstarter, two trees or something like that. I see those ads all the time. Well, I was scrolling around and I saw an ad for something with Saint Smart that kind of piqued my interest. It was a little box that was a relay, and you would use it, especially if you've got a DIY machine, a one-off like this thing. You would use it to plug your router into one of the outlets in that box, and then you wire a couple of wires, a power and a ground from one of your outputs from your controller, and then you can set the pin for the spindle, and then it will at least control the spindle as far as, and I say spindle, I'm using that term incorrectly really because I'm talking about a router, but it would at least turn the router off and on. Now, you can't see it because this big old thing, let me pull this off. There you can see I have my DeWalt 611 is what I'm using. And of course it has I think it's 6-position little knob there that you can turn to adjust the speed.
Yeah.
So these things, when you use one of those relays, it's not going to be as nice as a true spindle because you're not going to be able to go up or down on the fly with the speed or the RPM, I should say. But it will turn off and on. So I thought that thing was pretty cool. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go buy that thing. So I went to look, and you know me, I'm not the most patient guy around. I like to get things quick. So I
Yep.
always go look on Amazon. Now, the reason they had that ad is they had it on sale. I think it was like $29.99, or it might have been $39.99, but I think it was $29.99. But anyway, that, I guess that price is only good if you clicked on that ad and went through their website, and probably take, who knows, week or 2 weeks to get it or whatever. And I like stuff now, you know. So I go look on Amazon, and sure enough, they sell that exact same thing, but it was like $56 and
Yeah.
something. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
nah, I don't think so. I don't think I want it that bad. So what I did is I thought, well, I'm already here on Amazon. Let me just look around, see what else there is. And I found this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not new. I don't know why I haven't seen it before. It's by a company called Digital Loggers,
Yep.
which is in the U.S. They're in Santa Clara, California, or it's Califailure, as some people say. But pretty cool looking little thing. So this one was, I think it probably would have been cheaper if I'd have bought it straight from their website. But like I said, I don't mind paying a few extra bucks.
And you're going to pay shipping anyway.
Yeah, well, it's all figured in. There is no such thing as free shipping. But anyway, I ordered it yesterday and it came today. I had it today by about
Nice.
1:30. So you can't beat that. But I've already had this installed, and I'm going to tell you straight up, it works fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But I've taken it back off, put it in the box just so I can show you all tonight. But not much to it. It's just this little. Let me set this out of the way here. It's just this little thing right here. Let me.
Yeah, blow yourself up on that.
How do I do it right here? Let's do this. Okay.
There you go.
All right. So, like I said, this thing, it's got a place where you plug your power cord in.
Mm-hmm.
You put power to this thing. Then it's got over here this. I always have a hard time getting this thing out. Let's see if I can get it out of there. Come on, baby.
These were really popular with the X-Carve people back in.
Yeah, and I can see why. They should be popular with pretty much anybody that has a DIY machine or a machine where you're using a router to, as your spindle. Okay, so you've got, I pulled that out, but you got a little plug, and this is where your power and your ground from an output will go. You need to strip the wires, put them in here. You know how these things work, have the little tiny screws, and you need to make sure you get them all screwed in there good before you push this thing in, because when you push it in, it goes in so far you can't get to the screw heads anymore. So make sure you do that first. But this thing is really cool. It's got, of course, you got your power on-off switch here for this thing. Then it's got 4 outlets. This one right here, if I hold this right, you can probably read it.
Yeah, there's one of them that's always on.
This one right here is always on all the time. So if you wanted to plug your controller into that one, that would be a good one to do. This one over here is normally on. So if you have something that you want on, but you want to be able to use software to switch it off, you would put it in that one. And then for a router and possibly a shop vac or something, you've got these two, which are normally off. So when this is activated by the output, it's going to turn those two on. And of course, also shut them off in the case of a router and say a dust shop vac or something. It will shut them back off when the program's done. So the next best thing at I guess at having a real spindle, and I thought, well, I haven't decided what kind of options. Let me see if I can make this thing. I don't know how to get it back. Well, I guess like that. There we go. That's close enough. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do. As y'all know, the Avid used to sit here. So right behind that thing on the wall, there's an outlet for 220. So I could easily put a big 220 volt spindle right there and still have easy access to that outlet. There's also 110 outlets there, so I could put a 110 spindle if I wanted to, an air-cooled spindle. What do they call it? The 1.5 kilowatt, I think it is. Or I could stay with this. And I think just because I'm just now kind of getting this thing back together and starting to get it where it's, I want to run it a little while before I make any more big improvements. Like you said, I still got the same old plywood dust shoe on here and all that. I have, I think I might have showed this last week. I did 3D print this to go from whatever this is, 2 1/4 to the 4-inch hose, which was already here because of my Avid being here. So going to be running that. But I thought, well, I don't really mind running this and having to manually adjust the speed, because I usually don't mess with the speed that much anyway. I pretty much put it, somewhere around 15,000, 16,000 RPM or so, and pretty much leave it at that, maybe 18 sometimes. So I'm not really worried about being able to control the speed, but I would like to be able to have it where it just came on and turned off automatically. So this little thing is going to make that possible. Now, it also, like I said, there wasn't much in the box. There's really 2 things. There's this that I just showed you, and then there's a very short, and when I say very short, I ain't lifting this, a very short power cord. I think in the Amazon ad, I could have sworn that thing said it was 2 feet, and I pulled the tape and stretched this thing as far as I could, and it was about 19 inches. That was it. But
it was
fortunately
telling
for
its
my
wife that it
case,
was 2 feet.
yeah. Now, it's just a basic power cord. So you probably, if you're like me, you probably got a half a dozen of them sitting around that's at least 5 or 6 feet from an old computer or something. But in my case, this one is going to be long enough because I've got a power strip rigged up in the back there for everything else. So I can set this where it's going to work fine. And I thought I would go ahead and, like I said, I took this back off, but I think I may try to switch to, let's see if I can get this other camera going.
Yeah, Jack in the shop's asking where your cable stretcher is.
Yeah, well, I'd have to, where did that camera go? Oh, hell. I don't think that camera's lit up over there. I'm not seeing it. Is that you, Paul? Or am I hearing a bamboo back there?
Yeah, let me mute it. It's
no, you're
it's
fine.
going through. Oh, okay. It's going through the factory setup, so it's doing a reset, so it's doing something.
Okay, well that's good news.
It's progress.
Yeah,
that is good news.
I'm gonna Ryan if this works.
Yeah, you're gonna have to send him a text port bill.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, but I cannot seem to get this camera to add. I don't know what is going on here.
Yeah, if that gets too loud, just let me know and I'll mute this.
It don't bother me. I thought it sounded like that thing going through the motions there. So I thought, well, that's a happy sound right there. If you're,
Yes, it is.
All right, I am trying to add this stupid camera right here. And it says we couldn't access the additional. Oh, I bet I don't have it plugged in right. Duh. Let's see. Well, it should work right there, but let me try hooking it somewhere. We'll try hooking it somewhere else. Let's see if we can make this thing work right here. Why is it when you have a USB, just a simple USB A's, why does it always take about 6 tries to get that thing go in there? And it'll only go one way. So you got a 50-50 shot, but whenever I do it,
Pick the wrong one.
all right, there's that. All right, well, maybe y'all won't get to see me. You'll have to, I guess, watch me from a distance. I had a camera set up over there.
Your microphone switched off.
Ah, shit.
What happens? Start messing around with stuff, and
At least I got a freaking cable. I'll tell you that. All right. I don't know what's going on here with this silly camera stuff. I'll try one more time here. I'm pretty sure that's the Logitech 920. Maybe I got the wrong one. Yeah, that's what that is.
Oh, that sounds better.
No, it will not.
That doesn't sound better.
Switch again. All right, I should be on the right microphone.
Nope.
Oh, no, I'm not, am I? What the? What the?
You always got to
How
be
about
breaking.
this?
There you go. Now you got it.
Okay, all right. I'm not touching no more buttons. All right, y'all just have to pretend that you can see behind that machine.
At least we stayed on.
Take this
Like
thing around.
usually you mess up your camera when you start pushing buttons. And
Yeah.
Well, the night ain't over yet, buddy. If I could have got it to come on, I probably would have messed it up. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm going to take the cable is already run from. There's a spindle connection. You know, these things have. This is a G3 CNC controller from Stacy. And they already have a spindle connect. He has these nice little connectors with the what do they call them, aircraft connectors.
yeah.
So what I have to do is put these 2 wires. There's actually 3 wires, but I'm going to use 2 of them since I'm not controlling the speed. And I'm going to, on the left side, which is positive, I'm going to be putting the black wire in this little connector. And I know you're probably thinking, wait a minute, black, wouldn't that be ground? No, I've already checked this out, and you'd think it would be red, but the red wire he's got completely cut short, like it's not being used at all. It's not even wired into the pin. Okay, then I've determined that the blue wire is the ground. for this particular
set
set.
up European style.
Your mileage may vary when you go to hook yours up. And like I said, you have to put them on these connectors. I'm holding this like you can see it, but I know you can't really see it. Before you push it in here, because once you push it in here all the way, you cannot see the tops of those screws. So now that I've got that in there, I am going to take this super long 19-inch cord and plug it into my other power strip. And then I'm going to take the cord for the DeWalt router and plug it into one of the two normally off outlets. And then I'll hit the red switch to turn this whole little relay thing on. Okay, and that's it. Just it's that simple. So now let me turn the controller on. I've kept it off because it's kind of loud with those fans. Let's see if we got connected here. Yeah, looks like we are. So now, if I hit the little spindle button right here, you should see. You can get out of the way and see if you can see it. Well, did I forget to turn it on? No, it's on. There. All right. Well, maybe I didn't wire something up.
Now you broke it.
I broke it already. Unless I already had Mach 3 open, maybe I have to restart Mach 3 to get. No, it looks like it's. Nope, I must. Maybe I didn't get one of them wires in there good. I may have slid it up under the thing. So let me check that. This thing is so tiny here, this little plug. If they'd have left it where you didn't push it so far in, you could get a hold of it to get it out. But yeah, I think I got one of those wires that isn't making contact right there. Man, this thing's hard to get out of there. There we go. All right, let me make sure. Yeah, I think I got that one up over the doohickey. I think. See, I should have just left it wired up because it was running fine. But I thought, well, I'll take it back apart so y'all can get a closer look at it.
Oh, well, thanks, Andy. Appreciate the heads up. Dave, evidently on Laser Maker's Realm, they're giving away a Rolly Galvomatic tomorrow night. So if you don't have anything going on, you want to go over there and watch and join in their shenanigans.
Okay, who is that that's doing that?
Laser Maker's Realm.
Okay. Well, let's see if I got that silly thing back in there right.
Oh, they're giving away two. Nice. Very nice.
All right, let's see. Still nothing. Well, I'm going to restart.
It doesn't like you today.
I'm going to
It's
restart.
mad at you for putting it together and then taking it apart.
I'm going to restart this Mach 3 because I may have lost my connection with the thing there. See, now it's showing it's.
Paul, how's your progress going?
Well, it did the factory reset, but it connected to my router, but it doesn't seem to do anything.
Huh. Well, at least that's something else you can tell them when you do it, that you did a factory reset on it too, and it didn't solve it all. I don't know what else to tell you to try. You made sure it's plugged in.
Yep.
All right. Well, I don't know what's going on with this thing. I haven't changed any settings since I got it first to work, and then I thought, well, it's easy enough to hook back up. But I must be forgetting something.
It's in cahoots with Paul's 3D printer. Did you turn it on, Dave?
Yes, turned on, it's lit up.
Making sure. Does if you plug it into the always, or here's a question for you: is the router on?
Yeah, the router's plugged in.
Yeah, but is the router turned on?
Is it turned on?
Yes, that's
okay. All right, so unplug it and plug it into the always on. All right, so at least you got electrical connections inside there.
Yeah, so that's.
And what about the normally on?
Yeah, let's.
All right, so yeah.
Yeah. It's the problem with this thing here. And again, I checked one of those wires, let me check the other one, make sure I didn't foul it up too.
Process of elimination.
Pretty sad when there's only two wires and you can't get those going right.
You know.
All right, let's see if that thing goes in there like that.
I do like the new view on the live stream, Dave.
The new what?
The new view of the Sidewinder and all that. It's a nice view you got going on.
Yeah, well. All right, I know when I first did it earlier today. All right, maybe that's it. Maybe I'm not getting those things connected right. Let's see if that does it. Okay, surely they're in there now. Let's plug this thing. Turn that on. All right, let's see what happens now.
Is everybody out in the chat give Dave an old thumbs up before the show yet? If not, please do.
All right, something has changed since I last. Yeah, I don't know what it is. That's just like it was.
Yeah, Landis, I think he just wants to be able to turn it on and off from the relay.
Yeah, that's all it's going to do is turn it on and off. It's not going to control the speed. Not with a DeWalt. Well, let me make sure. Let's see. Watch all this stuff not work now.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Appreciate that, sir. Well, while you're messing with that, Dave, I will tell the fine folks out there a little bit about what I'm working on while you're trying to figure it out, if that's all right.
Oh, yeah, sure. Go right ahead.
Yeah.
Make yourself big, too.
Oh, he's homing. He's homing. It's thinking about it. Well, anyway, so if you're not aware out there, I am.
I might have you locked here.
What happened?
There you go.
Oh, that's all right. You didn't have to do that. I'm working on a new CNC machine, new plywood machine, and we're calling it the Ranger CNC, and it's getting really close to being ready to go. But I thought it'd be kind of cool to give you guys a little preview of something that you'll be seeing on it, and what you'll be seeing here is I'm going to show you one of the gantry side plates here. So this is the gantry side plate for the one side, and if you see that, look at that nice, beautiful logo, nice Ranger CNC logo right on there. So that's my boy.
That came out good.
Yeah. So as you can see on the OhmTech on the Monport back there, there's the front little doors open and all that. And actually, that was one of the jigs I was making the other day, was for putting the logos onto the side of the gantry plates here. So pretty happy with it. I think it looks good. But this is a little preview of what we're looking at on her. So good deal. Hope if you're interested in the Ranger CNC, if you go to the Facebook group, it's facebook.com/groups/Ranger CNC, and you can follow along there, and hopefully, if Lord willing and the creek don't rise pretty shortly, people can order them if they like. So pretty awesome. Awesome possum. Whoa, what happened? Oh, I think where's that thing at? There we go. Oh, nope. Dave blew me up, and I don't even know where I went. There we go. But
Okay.
yeah, it's been a fun process so far with building it and all that, and honoring my pup.
All right. I am going to go into troubleshooting mode here. Because I don't understand what the heck's going on here.
Marcelo, yes, that's what he's going to be doing. That's what the little IoT relays for. It's to be able to he can put in the G code so that at the beginning of the carve it'll fire up the router, and then at the end of the carve it'll shut it down. Which is kind of nice, especially like if you walk away from it for a minute and it finishes up, you can kind of tell because it'll shut down. You don't have to just sit there and listen for it. Humming away.
Okay, I must have a setting that changed after I shut this thing off earlier.
Oh, it's a Windows update.
Because I'm not getting the same reading. I was getting 10 volts when I hit the spindle on, and it is not doing it now.
Huh.
I'm not getting anywhere near that. So as soon as I figure out what changed.
What if you check the voltage there inside the controller? Maybe you've checked you were checking the stuff on the outside of the controller, but did you check the wiring again inside going into the controller for that?
No, I haven't even had that thing open.
No. So what goes into that controller? Is it just a screw terminal?
No, it's an aircraft connector.
Oh, okay.
Like this.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And then it's got a cable coming out with 3 wires on it, and I'm using 2 of those 3.
You got the right 2?
I don't think. Yeah, it's because the other ones I clipped off when I was testing out to see which 2 it is. Once I figured it out, I stripped the bare wire off the other one so I would know that that's not the right one.
Oh, good deal. Always got to ask.
I know. All right, that's not all right. It'll come to me in a minute because I know there's some little something that I didn't do.
Marcella wants to just verify that you're being able to trigger it with the M3 and M5.
Yes. All that was working before I took it back loose. I didn't change any settings or anything. I just shut it down and put it back in the box so I could show you all up close. And now it's
not happy.
It's not happy. Yeah. If I sit here, and there must have been something that I didn't save a setting, and now when I cut it off, it changed back or something. That looks like what I remember. It's showing output 1 for M3.
Sam Gray says set the speed for S 20,000.
Well, it doesn't matter what I set the speed at. It's not using the speed.
Yeah, I didn't know.
It's only using the on and off.
Well, I didn't know if that was something in Mach 3. No.
Let me go and spindle setup. Spindle motor output, direct, blah, blah, blah. I don't see anything that looks different right there. I'll tell you what I'll do. I will try. I will try a different machine profile. Man, I'm getting all kinds of errors. What the heck is all that about? I hadn't even seen that pop up. Now I can't get it to.
I don't want to even touch my computer right now. You guys are having too many problems with your electronics.
I think you fixed my printer, Ryan.
Oh yeah, you think so?
That and a dumb rookie mistake. The reset did it.
Well,
but
Sam,
after the reset.
Yeah.
After the reset.
He's not using it to activate the spindle speed. He's using it just to turn it on and off because it's a router. And so it's just to activate the relay that's inside the whatever the plug box, the IoT relay. Let's see here.
Yeah, I'll set the speed up and see if that might be what it was. I can't remember. My memory is so bad I can't remember. I just did it a few hours ago.
Yeah.
And like I said, I had it running. I brought it over here, and of course I've got a project here, but I just loaded in a program and I set the Z up where it would be cutting air and not hitting anything. Run a program, made sure it started and stopped. Everything was working fine.
Huh.
So next time I do something like this, y'all won't get to see it up close because I just leave it connected.
Well, what you should have probably done is just unplug that little green part and brought the rest of it.
I think it's probably messed up because I don't think it's anything with the wiring and the hardware. I think it's all with something with the settings and something I did before because it, like I said, when I check it, it's not getting 10 volts like it was. So there's something messed up, and I didn't save a setting right because I shut all this down and came back out and turned it all back on a while ago. So that's the only thing that's changed.
That's all right. 5 minutes after the show's over, you'll figure it out.
I should have shot some video of it working because y'all aren't going to believe it now.
We believe you.
I don't, but
oh, I do. I believe him. He might lie to you, but he wouldn't lie to me.
It's the funny thing about live streams. They're live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If something can go wrong, it will.
Well, all of those outlets on that relay device I've showed you, they're all on the same circuit. So if it works in the other two outlets, it's something wrong with before it gets to that.
Yeah. It's something in that triggering.
Yeah. And see, now that I'm checking it, I'm like, yeah, there's something that a setting got changed or something. And when I shut it off, I must not have saved the settings like I thought I did because it's not getting the 10 volts. It was reading almost exactly 10 volts when I was using the meter to check it before. I can hit the right button here. Well, we'll get her working here.
Yeah, on Amazon right now. Did you put a link to this in the description?
Yeah, there's one down in the description.
Yeah, so it looks like it's $36.25 at the moment.
Yeah, if you're not in a hurry for it, you can probably go to their website.
Yeah,
and it might be cheaper. But like I said, I'm a very impatient person, and I like to get.
And the one you get from their website works.
Okay, let's see where we're at here.
Let's see here. I'm looking to see if I can.
Okay, I think I'm going to have to speed it up because when I turn the spindle on, I'm getting the error down here. It says too slow for pulley, so it's wanting a faster speed. So let me go.
Okay, all right. That's what Sam Gray was saying. Set it to 20,000.
Let's see where.
He said sometimes in there's a minimum speed in Mach you need this to set the spindle speed for it to fire it.
I hope this doesn't make you dizzy.
So maybe that's why the
I got
voltage is lower.
All right. I got to figure out where.
Ryan.
Look at that. It just decided
How about
to have
that,
a problem. Yeah.
Factory reset did it.
Huh.
So all you people out there in television land, if your bamboo quits working, do a factory reset.
Here's where it is. Yeah, I think I did change this to like 12,000 or something. And it jumped back to 300. So let me make sure I save. And now let's see. No, I'm still getting that error. Too slow. It's showing 12 here. Too slow for pulley UZM. All right. So I got the minimum at 12,000 and it's still saying it's too slow for pulley 1. So
Looking to see if I can pull up a manual on that thing. Let's see.
there we go. Okay.
What was the magic trick?
Well, I had to change that speed to 12,000, the minimum speed. But then I also had to go to the ports and pins.
Hey, it's Mary Mallory out there. How you doing, Mary?
All right, let's see if that's working. Okay, now can you all see this? My thing.
No.
Now it's showing 10.63 volts.
There you go.
So, in fact, I just heard it click back there when I turned it off. So let me go plug this in. Yet again.
Marcelo is saying that it's that the Fox Alien one is 38 on the website.
Yeah, I think the only different, I mean, they all do the same thing, and I'm sure they're all okay, but I think one reason why this particular one is kind of popular is because it's got those other 2 outlets. A lot of the other ones just have 2 normally off outlets.
Yeah.
So
the problem I saw with it though is that it's still limited to like 10 amps. So I don't really think that you can plug more than just the motor into it or whatever.
I was telling Paul earlier that I'm probably, I'm running this dust collector that's over there in the corner, and I would worry about if I tried to drag a cord over here and plug it into one of those other normally off things and fire all this up at once. I'm afraid it would pull more than the amps.
Yeah.
Because I think this thing is rated at 12. They don't want you to go over 12 amps. But I think you might be pushing it if you tried to crank all that stuff up at once.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to give this the old try here.
See all product.
All right, she should work now.
Let's hope for it.
So she was showing 10.
There we go.
Hey, all right. Listen to that, will you?
Now, if you would have listened to Sam to begin with.
There's no guarantee it'll still work tomorrow when I come out here. I don't know why because I do remember having that set to 12,000 earlier to get it to work. It wouldn't run it by default. It's like at 300 on that
Yeah.
number one pulley, and that wasn't enough. Well, I don't know why it didn't save that, but at least now if I come out here tomorrow and it does it, I'll know to read that status. And if it says, because if you just take a minute to read, it usually tells you what's wrong with it. But yeah,
Marcelo says that part is $70 in Canada.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to just real quick here. I've got it jogged to we'll set our 0 right here, and I'll just load in a really short program and we'll see. I think this one's pretty short.
Mary, we'll forgive you for being late.
Okay, so we'll now get to see if it starts and stops like it's supposed to.
Sam says, I'm used to no one listening to me, so no worries. Yeah, Sam, I've been married twice. I get it too, buddy.
I better set that Z a little bit lower because it's going to raise that and probably top out. There we go. That should be good. We'll set it there. All right, let's see what she does now.
Here we go. Does it go? Yes! Yes!
All right, so note to self, make sure the pulley setting is high enough and make sure it saves it.
Nice.
Okay, Marcelo says it was $38 on their website.
Yeah.
70 in Canada.
Yeah. See?
Well, I paid.
The benefits of being in the 51st state.
Yeah. What'd you say? I paid
$32.
36 something. I think.
Yeah. Well, the one that you have is 36 something.
Okay. And I think it was maybe $1 or $2 less because every time I buy something on Amazon, even if I've only got $1 or $2, that what they call it, the cash back type stuff, I apply it because I know if I let it build up, I'll forget about it. So.
Yeah, that's really something. Twice as much in Canada. That's just mind-boggling.
Doesn't have to be that way. Oh, look at that. RJ printed out a scraper with the A1. There you go.
Hey, look at that.
He's off and running. Oops. There we go. So you can also do this type of thing with a regular solid state relay, but it's a lot more. It's not plug and play like what Dave bought. So there are other options out there too, but it's not as pretty. Look at that!
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I couldn't hear a word you were saying. I was just watching your mouth move.
No, well, I was talking to Marcella.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So contrary to popular belief now, after watching me, it is really easy to set up. Like it's that one little thing that I forgot that I'd changed. And thanks for whoever it was said speed it up, because that was the trick. I wasn't thinking about that because I thought, well, I knew I'd already done it, but apparently I shut it down or did something before I saved the settings, and I thought I'd saved those settings. So of course now tomorrow when I come out here after shutting everything completely down, that'll be the first thing I look for. So, but I think it's a pretty cool little thing for, depending on where you live, less than $40. I think there's might be some on Amazon from these different little companies that are, 25 or $30 or something like that. But the ones I looked at only had 2 outlets, and I think they're both like to put a router and a shop vac or something like that in, which would work fine if you're going to use it for a router. But it is kind of neat to be able to have those other 2 outlets, because you can have the controller plugged into the one that's always on. And right off the top of my head, I can't think of a use case for one where it would be on, but then when it's triggered, it would go off.
You see the question there, Dave?
In Dave's garage.
Right here.
That one.
let me tell you something though. This, and I talked about these the other day. I sold these probably for most of you even knew how to spell CNC 15, 16, 17 years ago, however long it's been, nearly 20 years ago. And I only sold about 100 of these throughout the US and Canada. There's still some around, and unless she sold it, I know where you can get one. And it's the last one I ever made. And that's from my friend Melinda, because she had this machine. See, we're doing just the opposite. I had an Avid. I sell it to Melinda and then put my Sidewinder here. She had a Sidewinder and she bought my Avid. So she's still wanting to get rid of hers. So
I don't know why you'd ever want to get rid of tools.
Yeah. Well, this one,
need to have more of them.
This one to me, I mean, if you could look at it, you go, well, it's, there's nothing special about it. And there really isn't, especially after having that Avid Pro Series 4848, this is nothing like that. But this one is always my special one, kind of sentimental to me, because this is kind of what got everything started for me. I started my YouTube channel many moons ago and and I wasn't really doing a CNC channel. I was doing just woodworking projects, but then I'd always get the knuckleheads that would see the CNC or see that I cut part of it out with a CNC, and they're like, oh no, that's not real woodworking, and if you want to piss old Dave off, that's one thing you need to tell me, is that what I'm doing isn't real woodworking, because when you design and build the machine yourself that's doing that stuff, by God, it's real woodworking. You can kiss my, what, and if mine ain't dirty enough, you can kiss Ryan's. So, but yeah, if you want to piss me off, that's a sure way of doing it. Saying, yeah, you're cheating because you got a CNC. Well, I don't think it's cheating if I designed it and built the thing myself. So
I think all of the woodworkers now are getting them.
But yeah, Dennis, if you, I tell you what tell you what, do if you want to send me an email, go to my website, davegatton.com, and just click on the little envelope up in the corner and send me a form submission. And in the meantime, I will check with Melinda to see if she still has it, which I think she does, because she's so busy playing with that Avid. I don't think she's trying too hard to sell that one. But in fact, I almost thought about I don't know what she'd want for it, but I almost thought about buying it myself just to have it.
Well, it could have been a partial trade. Oh man.
Yeah, but
you could have said, "Look,
I don't really
need it on it, but you also got to give me my Sidewinder back."
Yeah. Well, I guess I could have done that.
You need another one so you have the same amount of horizontal space to store stuff on.
Well, that's probably what would happen, Paul. If I had two of them in here, one of them would probably always be full of stuff. But yeah, well, we done been over on an hour already.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's I guess all I got for you. Like I said, those are pretty cool little things, especially if you're running a CNC that's where you're using a router. And y'all have probably seen pictures of this one. I think the old thumbnail that I'm using still doesn't show that. It's showing the Porter Cable 690.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a speed control at all on it. It's just wide open or off. So, but you could run something like that, or run, even if you're running with something that's got a variable speed, it's still nice to be able to turn it on and off with the program and stuff like that. So if you have a machine like that, and especially if you have a DIY machine, whether it's one you built yourself or you bought maybe a Ranger CNC kit, and you're building your own from somebody else's plans or whatever, that okay, Mary says, what is the difference between the Sidewinder and the Gatton CNC?
Sidewinder's metal.
About 9 years.
Yeah.
This one was born in 2007, and the Gatton CNC was born in 2016. Now this one, Paul asked me last week, he said, this plywood, now this is all steel. All this is heavy. This is 11 gauge steel. 11 gauge steel is about just right at 1/8 of an inch thick. So this is a heavy son of a gun.
Heck yeah.
But
yeah, you used to ship those things fully put together too.
Well, no, I would put them together, test them all, then take them back apart, and I built wooden crates. All this heavy stuff I've ever shipped, that was the days before that nice foam cut, laser cut foam and all that stuff. It was just lay all the parts out and then measure it, build a crate to try to take up as much room as you can. But I shipped these, I didn't ship them worldwide. I shipped them to all over the U.S. and there's a few in Canada as well.
Yeah, so it was more like the Garage Works. The Garage Works was in between the Sidewinder and the Gatton CNC.
Yeah.
So what improvements did you make to the Garage Works over the Sidewinder?
Well,
it would be really. Side note, it would be really cool to see, because you have another Garage Works there at the house. It'd be really cool to see. Yeah, well, it'd be really cool to see your progression of machines that you've built one day. Just something putting out there.
Well, see, to me, it's not that impressive, because when I was doing the Garage Works and even the Gatton CNC for that matter, the main objective, which is pretty much always been what I've been about. If anybody that knows me for very long, is to get people into CNC. And how do you do that? You try to make it affordable. I got so sick and tired of when like I said, I would do a YouTube video. I would maybe run a piece of it using this, and then I'd always get the snarky comments. Well, that's easy. You got a CNC. Yada yada yada. I got so sick of hearing, like it was magic to build a CNC, and I kept saying, man, there's nothing. This is not rocket science. I mean, and it was probably a little easier for me because my job back when I worked for the man, I was a, designer slash CAD person, did all my drawings in SolidWorks, 3D models, all of sheet metal. We had big lasers that would cut steel. In fact, all of these are laser cut. Press brakes to form the stuff and all that. So because of my background in sheet metal fabrication, I didn't start out to build CNCs. I started out because I wanted to make some side money like anybody that's working for the man.
Yep.
And so I thought of a few products, and I thought, well, you know what? I know how to program these things. I just need one of my own. And then when I got to looking around, there wasn't much out there way back then that was, everything was super high dollar, way out of my league. So I just thought, well, Dave, you're a sheet metal guy. Just draw you one up in sheet metal. And that's how this came about. And I mentioned this the other night. I made a few models before this one, but this is the first one where when I ran it, the light bulb came on, and I thought, man, this thing runs good.
Yeah.
It really runs good. And it's all because these are 1-inch solid precision bars or rods, whatever you want to call them, from a master car. And then there's one on each side here. It's the same thing, 1-inch solid rod. Well, the first few machines I made, I designed the machine to try to fit a certain working area. But when you order these rods from a master car,
they are what they are.
They are a certain length, like 3 foot, 4 foot, 5,
Yeah.
And if I needed one 4 foot, 6 1/4 inches, I had to get old grinder out or with a cutoff wheel and cut them and file them. And it takes a long time to go through that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's when I thought, Dave, you idiot, let's get smart about this. Just order the rods and redesign a machine to fit those rods. So these rods right here are 4 foot. These two on each side are 3 foot, which makes the cutting area approximately 40 by 26. So rather than try to shoot for a certain size bed, I just thought, make it easy. Don't have to cut those things. Get them whatever size I want. And whatever it works out to be, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how that machine got to be what it is. Now, with 40 by 26, that's a pretty decent size as far as somebody who's doing hobby stuff in their garage. Yeah, you can't quite fit a 4 foot piece. I get that. But, you're only limited by the 40 inches because of this design. You can feed it through that way, so the Y can be whatever.
Yeah.
So this became pretty popular because, like I said, way back in the day, there wasn't very many machines that people could afford to get started. And of course, now they're everywhere. They're a dime a dozen pretty much. So
Yeah, Sam says, watching Dave is what convinced me to build my CNC. Yep.
Well, that's good, Sam.
Mary said that she built
Appreciate
her
that.
Gatton and still using it. Yep. Same here, Mary. I'm using mine.
There's well, I don't know in this particular chat, but there's a lot. We call them Gattoneers if they bought a Gatton CNC kit and built it. There's a lot of Gattoneers out there, especially in Texas. I mean, I don't know what it is about Texas. I wish I had a nickel for every one I shipped to Texas. I know I'd have a pocket full of nickels if I did.
Well, you did have more than a nickel because you sold them kits.
Yeah. But Dennis, I'm in McDonough, Georgia, about 30 minutes southeast. Well, I always used to tell people 30 minutes southeast of Michael Jackson Hartsfield Airport. But in today's traffic, you can't get there in 30 minutes. So it's more like an hour, but I'm just not very far from
Hotlanta.
From Hotlanta, southeast of Atlanta, just off I-75.
Current home of the highest paid backup quarterback in the NFL.
Mr. Cousins.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on the Falcons. Good gosh. I tell you,
just wait till next year. There'll be somebody higher paid next year.
I can sum up the Atlanta Falcons' problems in 2 words. Know what it is?
28-3. 28-3.
No, that's a good guess. But the problem with the Atlanta Falcons is Arthur Blank.
Oh yeah.
That idiot. Not every rich person should own a football franchise. Because him and Jerry Jones. I mean, look at what the Cowboys do.
Ugh.
Yeah, just because you got lots of money, you don't mean you're smart at football. I mean, if you want to buy a team, but just shut up and stay up in the penthouse and quit going down on the sidelines and dicking around like that.
Well, I'm glad you got the relay working.
Well, yeah, I appreciate the suggestions. Like I said, because it might have been a while before I'd have thought to try to raise that. Because, like I said, I raised it before and thought it took, but apparently it didn't. But yeah, those things work good, and like I said, I would recommend them if you're running some kind of a setup like this and you're getting tired of having to turn the router on before you start, or maybe one too many times you've hit cycle start and forget to turn it on and you're not quick enough. That can be a real deal breaker too. So, but yeah, these are easy to do. Just and if I'm using the connection that's coming right out of that G3 CNC controller. But if you've got your own home built controller, which I will be doing some on the show, I've got my demo board back there. I've got my little workbench thing kind of sort of cleared off. And we'll be laser cutting the box and maybe taking those components off and putting them in. And that's eventually what I want to use to run this. The G3 CNC controller is okay, but it's not what I want to use. So, but all you have to do is wherever your breakout board is, take an output, run the wire, like I said, a ground and a power. These things that I mentioned, let's see, does it say on the... One other thing I don't think I mentioned, but when I said that's all that came in the box, I meant that's all that comes in the box. There's no instructions or nothing. But it is pretty simple. I guess they figure you know what you're doing. They do have YouTube videos and stuff, but I thought I read it on the box here somewhere. No, I guess not. I must have read it on the Amazon listing. I think it takes 3 to 60 volts, I think, to make it work. So you need at least 3. You have it still up, Ryan?
Let me look in here. Let's see here.
I think that's what it said. Which, like I said, when I checked this one, if you saw my meter, it was just over 10 volts DC. And you can also use AC volts to trigger this too.
Let's see here. See if I can see anything.
But there's some. I'm not going to bother doing a YouTube video on how to do it because I looked online. There's already some. There's a YouTube channel called Eli the Computer Guy, and out of the videos I watched talking about this same control relay, he had probably the best video. Well, yeah, Dennis, if you're, like I said, if you're interested, go to my website and then shoot me an email. And if you're serious, I will check with Melinda if she still has that one. And I guarantee if you buy that one, that's the last one you'll ever get because I have no intentions of trying to sell these. I've still got all the blueprints, and I still got good connections with the sheet metal fabrication job shops I worked at. So there's one right here in town I worked at for 8 years. So he's a good friend of mine. So I could always start him up, but I'm too old to lift that kind of heavy sheet metal and stuff. I don't want to do it. But they're good little machines. Good little hobby machines, I'll say that.
Let's see here.
Are you finding it?
12 volts AC to 120 volts AC.
AC,
3
yeah,
volts to 48 volts DC.
Okay, is it 48? I thought it had 60.
That's what Sam Gray said. 3 volts to 48 volts DC.
Yeah, I'm
12
looking at
volts
the
AC, 120.
Yep.
All right. I'm pulling up there. Of course, their Amazon listing could be wrong, I guess.
There's a page in that shows the all the specs on it. That's what I'm looking at now.
Yeah, see, here's where I read it says a 12 amp safety circuit. So, yeah, there's where it says included cord 24 inches. By foot. That thing was 19 inches as hard as I could stretch it. Yeah, 12 to 120 volts AC. I don't know where I got 60. I thought maybe it says it on the thing. Maybe that's where I saw it. Because it's got these stickers back here. Yeah. I go messing around with it too much, it'll stop working again.
Yeah.
No, I must have dreamed that. I thought it said 3 to 60, but maybe that was another one I was looking at because I looked at 2 or 3 different ones before I decided on this one.
Good deal.
But like I said, the way Stacy had this one wired, it worked on. Oh yeah, it does say 3 to 48 on here. I must have dreamed that 60 volt stuff. I don't know where I got that from.
Well, the Fox Alien one says 5 to 80 volts.
Okay. Yeah, some of them are different. Now that one just has 2 outlets, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm probably going to unplug my controller from the power strip that I have it on and plug it into the always on one because that would just make sense. But I can't really think of a use case where I would use the one where it's always on but goes off when it's triggered. I can't think of what I would need on that would need to go off when I go turn my spindle on. So
the only thing I could really think of, like in the CNC world, would be like if you had a light or something like outside the room said, hey, loud noise or something like that, or I don't know. Like, so when the spindle turned on, it would turn that light off and maybe turn another one on or something. I don't know. I don't know what you use that for.
I don't
I'm
know
sure
about,
there's reasons for it.
You just gave me an idea. Like if you were running it in the garage and you wanted to let some family members know or something, hey, it's noisy in here, you could always run you a lit sign or something saying ear protection required, and then, for the one that comes on.
Yeah.
And then when you turn the spindle on, that would come on too or something. But like I said, I think it's just handy for the hobbyist because you could probably get away with doing a small shop vac and your router and not tripping that 12 volts. I'm just not going to try it with my big dust collection.
No.
Although I was telling Paul before we went live, I'm going to get one of those things that you plug into the wall, and then you plug that into that thing, and then you got a remote. Because I have
smart switches.
The dust collector's way over there in the corner, but the switch broke a long time ago, and my buddy Jim come to fix the switch, and he said he didn't have one. I go, well, just hot wire it. I said, and we'll just plug it into one of these other things that has a switch.
Yeah.
So there is no switch over there like there used to be. So I have it plugged into another thing that he made me, and I have to walk over there to plug it or to turn it on and off. So a remote would be nice, but anyway, all right. Well, I guess I don't see any more questions. I appreciate y'all hanging around and putting up with me. Forget what I did. I should have known better. I should have just left it all hooked up because it was running fine. Of course, it might have still messed up even if I left it hooked up, because if that was a setting that I thought I had saved and it didn't take, I did shut the computer down. So
it would have reset itself anyway.
It probably would have done the same thing anyway. But anyway, at least you got to see the thing up close and all that. And like I said, I've got links to all this stuff that I show and talk about on here. If you look down below, you'll think, man, old Dave's got a big old long list of Amazon links down there. Well, I've been doing this a while. I've bought a lot of stuff, and everything that you see listed below, there won't be one single thing down there that I haven't bought and used. And if it's not any good, I wouldn't have it in that list. So it's in there.
There you go.
Well, I guess we'll get out of here. We've been on there. This is probably one of the longest ones we've done.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all hanging around.
Paul's pruning up.
I know. Let me get that button ready. You know what? Paul may be burning the midnight oil running that damn bamboo now. He got that thing back working.
Yeah.
Or maybe he'll just go to bed and dream about something he's going to run tomorrow. That might be better. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Ryan. Thanks everybody that hung around, and we will see y'all next week.
Nanu.
See ya.